old enough to be in the I need to be buying appliances stage, but trust me, you'll be there soon enough. Okay? Sean, please open up to page 36. Let's put the phone away. And it says on page 36 at the bottom, number 1, an appliance store sells a washer-dryer combination for $1,500. If the washer costs $200 more than the dryer, find the cost of each appliance. Now, what is this chapter on again? What is this chapter about? Solving systems of equations. Solving systems of equations. So we're going to have two linear equations that we need to come up with. Okay? Good morning. I have test for you and a review, and you would be able to grab one of those stars and put it up on the fridge. I don't know. So I'm going to give you 3 minutes. 3 minutes to see if you can start on this on your own and come up with either one or both equations. Appliance store sells a washer-dryer combination for $1,500. The washer costs $200 more than the dryer. Find the cost of each appliance. Or do we need two equations here? We're on page 36. Okay, so here it is one more time. An appliance store sells a washer-dryer combination for $1,500. If the washer costs $200 more than the dryer, find the cost of each appliance. What are you thinking? Yes, Miss Nyla. $1,500 equals 2x minus 200. So what is x equal to? Price of dryer. All right, hang on a minute here. So guys, let's take a look. 1,500. Appliance stores sells a washer dryer combination for 1,500. If the washer costs $200 more plus 200. $200 more than the dryer, find the cost of each appliance. What do you guys think? Is this going to work? The washer costs $200 more than the price of the dryer. Well, I think she's saying X plus 200 would be the washer, but X would, because the washer is 200 more. So X plus 200 would be the washer, but the dryer would just be X. So then if you add that together, that would work. So this is, yes, this will work. This is one way to do that. Okay? So she's not even at this point using two equations. Now, are some of you like, huh? How did she get that? What? Are some of you still in that boat? Anybody? Please be honest. Everybody understands where she got this. Okay. So then I would, okay. Okay, so X is equal to 650, which is the price of the dryer, which we had before. This is the dryer. And okay. And this would be for the washer. Now let's double check and see if this makes sense. If we put 850 and 650 together, does that total $1,500? Yes, so it satisfies that. Is the washer 200 more than the dryer? Yes. Okay. So this is one way to do it. That is not how I would have done it, but that totally works. And again, that is the beauty of math. That is the worst part of math. Did anybody else want to share what they did, or did anybody else do something different? Yeah, go ahead. Because it's not always, solving it in the same way. And what did you do? $750 and then what? Subtracted 200. Okay. Okay, I can barely hear you. Can you say it a little bit louder? So you added 200 to 750 and got 950? And 550 for the... Okay, the only problem with that, that's your washer and this is your dryer, you're going to come up with... Oh, this is 1,500, sorry. It's only supposed to be $200 more. And yeah, so it definitely adds up to 1,500. The problem, I think, is that you divide it by 2 right away. Okay? So I don't know that that is quite the right way to go. All right? Everybody else do it a different way. I, in case you're interested, said something like washer, so W for washer, that was my variable, plus dryer is equal to 1,500. And then I said the washer costs 200 more. So washer for me was equal to, because it was 200 more, if I want to make it an equation, I had to put the 200 over here and get 200 plus the dryer. And then I could have used substitution, okay? Use this and substitute it in for W and then solve for D, the price of my dryer, okay? Does anybody want to see that all worked out, or does that make sense? Okay. Washer plus dryer together is 1,500. The washer is 200 more than the dryer. So to make it equal, put 200 on the other side, and it will work out. So I use substitution for that, and you will get the same answer. But the dryer is $650. And the washer is $850. All right. Any other questions? Any other ways that other people came up with an answer? All right, let's go to the next one. Two angles are supplementary if the sum of their measures is 180 degrees. So in case you forgot, yes, supplementary means you add them together, you get 180. If one angle's measure is 90 more than twice the measure of the other, what are the measures of each angle? You're like, oh, I love word problems. So I'll give you about 3 minutes again on this one. See what you can do to come up with an answer for that. Two angles are supplementary if the sum of their measures is 180. One angle's measure is 90 more than twice the measure of the other. What are the measures of the angles? Let's go, let's go. Did you see your test? Did you look through your test? What's the question? No, you can do that. This is something I need you to complete towards the end today. That's that one that's like a pre-test that I match you up with somebody who thinks like you. Are you done looking at your test? Did you do all the homework? Do you remember? You could still do that. You wouldn't get any credit, but if you want to do a retake. But you might want to take a look at what we're doing now. Let's see here. Word problems. Gotta love them, right? No? Yeah, right. No, I don't think so. Attendance, that's what I need to do. Oh, thank you. Very nice job. Any questions? No. Okay. Anybody have anything they want to run by me that you're thinking? Two angles.
Yeah.
Got an answer? No, not yet. Okay. All right. So, two angles are supplementary. Supplementary, my dear Watson, supplementary. If the sum of their measures is 180, 180 or one angle's measure is 90 more than twice the measure of the other, what's the measure of the angles? Who's got an idea? Okay. Who else has an idea? All right, so how many things are we dealing with here, guys? Two angles. Let's say angle 1, let's make equal to what? What? We don't know that it's 180. I mean, they have to total 180. If they're supplementary, that means we add them together, they're 180. But I was just thinking like a variable. So let's make 1x, right? Equals, we'll call this angle 1. And let's make the other one y. Why? Because we like it. Here's angle 2. Two angles are supplementary if the sum is 180. Who can give me an equation based on our angle 1 and angle 2 in that first statement? Christian, what do you think? The sum implies what operation? Addition. So we're going to add if the sum of their measures is 180. So what would that mean I would do with these variables? Add them, yes. So we're going to say x plus y equals 180. There's our first equation. Remember, this is all about systems of equations. So sometimes you don't need to, like the last one we kind of did without, but sometimes we do. If one angle's measure is 90 more than twice the measure of the other, what are the measures of the angle? One angle's measure is 90 more than twice the measure of the other. Can anybody interpret that? Yes. Okay, so 90 plus 2x. Is that it? Need an equation. One angle's measure is 90 more than twice the measure of the other. There's 90 more than twice the measure of the other angle, so that must mean this would be equal to, no, one angle's measure, the measure is 90 more than twice the measure of the others. So these really are measures. The measure of angle 1, measure of angle 2. So 90 plus 2x is equal to y. The measure of one angle is your equal 90 more than twice the measure of the other. If I have these two equations, which method would you use to solve this system of equation? Yes, because you have y isolated by itself right here. So let's take 90 plus 2x and substitute that in for y. So then I would have x plus my y value, which is 90 plus 2x, okay, equals 180. Combine your like terms. What like terms do I have? X and 2x gives me 3x plus 90 is equal to 180. Take away 90. 3x is equal to 90, so x is equal to 30. Okay, x is equal to 30. Now what? Am I done? That's the measure of one angle. How do I find the other one? Substitute it in either equation, right? So if x is 30, let's say 30 plus y equals 180. Subtract 30, subtract 30. That's subtraction. Y is equal to 150. Well, let's see. Do these two measurements work? Two angles are supplementary if the sum is 180. If I add these together, do I get 180? Yes. Is one angle's measure 90 more than twice the measure of the other? So if I take 2 times this, that gives me 60. And then if I add 90, that does give me 150. So these are my two angle measurements. X is equal to 30 degrees and Y is equal to 150 degrees. Questions on that? Look alive, people. Come on. Any questions? All right, let's turn to page 37. 37. Right at the very bottom of page 37 says, how many solutions? Consider the equation 5x minus 2y equals 3. 5x minus 2y equals 3. If possible, find a second linear equation to create a system of equations that has one solution, two solutions, no solution, or infinitely many solutions. Ay, caramba! You know, I say that, and what does that mean? Does that mean something in Spanish? Does anybody know? I probably shouldn't have said that. It's nothing bad? What does it mean, though? Oh, shoot? Oh, well, good. It says ay, caramba. What's the ay?
I think it's like O.
Oh, okay. Maybe. Okay. Well, then I was okay. All right, so I'm going to give you about 3-ish minutes to work on this. Maybe you have no idea. Maybe you have a bit of an idea. Think about, what does it mean? If you have no solution, what kind of lines would those be? If you have infinitely many solutions, what kind of lines? Don't say it out loud. What would that be? 2 solutions, 1 solution. What kind of lines are we talking about? That is a good question. Eek. So maybe you can recall what kind of lines they would be, but how do I find another equation? I see somebody using their pamphlet. That seems smart. Maybe. lines are they if there's no solution? What kind of lines if there's one solution, or two, or infinitely many solutions? Uh-huh. Do I have an eraser? There might be one in the back. All right. Okay, so we have this equation, 5x minus 2y equals 3. Find a second linear equation. So these are linear. That kind of makes sense. To create a system of equations that has no solution. All right. 5x minus 2y equals 3. Does anybody know how to start with any of these? What does it mean if we have... Oh, go ahead. For exactly one... Whoops. That was my second page. For one solution. So we have 5x minus 2y equals 3. And you said what? X minus 33 equals y. Okay. How did you come up with that? What made you choose that? Does it work? Did you try it? Or you did try it? Okay. What does it mean if there's one solution? That is correct. They are intersecting lines, right? Intersecting lines. Okay? And because they are lines, that means they are never going to end, right? They will go on forever in some direction. What is my slope for this equation right here, the one that they give us? I mean, that is in standard form, but that doesn't really help me with slope or intercept. How could I change that, transform it, so I would know what the slope and the intercept was? Did anybody try that? How would I put that in slope-intercept form? Come on, put on your thinking caps. Meow. Yeah, subtract 5x from both sides, right? Okay, so negative 2 equals negative 5x plus 3. He said divide everything by negative 2. Y equals, a negative divided by negative is a 5/2 x. And a 3 divided by negative 2 is negative 3/2. So this is that same equation, only it's in slope-intercept form. Okay? Slope-intercept form. So if I would substitute this into here, that might work, where we only have one solution. What is my slope-intercept form for this one that Nyla gave? We got the y equals, well, if I just rearrange it, y equals x minus 33. That has a slope of what? 1 and a y-intercept of negative 33. This has a slope of 5/2, this has a y-intercept of -3/2. Do you think those are going to intersect? Just say yes, it's quicker. Yes, they will. We'll come back to why. Does anybody know why they will intersect? Do we have much time? We don't have a whole lot of time. 54. We've got about 5 minutes. Well, let's come back to that one then. How do we know, or why do we know that they are going to intersect? You actually substituted in, right, and found out in some way? Okay. So she says they do, but we don't know about her. She's maybe a little shady. We need to figure it out for herself. No, just kidding. Two solutions. Did anyone come up with an equation to go with this so we have two solutions? People, come on. If you take two straight lines, think about two, I don't know. All I can think of right now are chopsticks or dowel rods or something like that. Think of the different ways that they could intersect. Could they intersect in two different places if they are straight lines? No. So guess what? This with two solutions is not possible. In other words, there is no way to do that. There is no way to have just two solutions when you have two lines. Okay? They either intersect or they don't intersect, or they are one on top of the other, right? So that one's not possible. Okay? Not possible. So let's go to the next one. No solution. I'm going to go back to this. We said it was y equals 5/2 x minus 3/2. Y equals 5/2 x minus 3/2. That's just slope-intercept form. How do I get no solution? What kind of lines would those be? Parallel lines. And if they are parallel lines with no solution, is there anything we might know about the either slope or the y-intercept if we're talking about parallel lines? I mean, think about it. If they're parallel lines, what can we say about the slope? If your slope's going like this and your other line has to go like this, what can you say about those slopes? They have to be the same, right? Whether you're going this way or this way or this way, the slope has to be the same. Okay? So when you have parallel lines, go ahead. What were you going to say? Yes, the slope is the same and the y-intercept has to be different, right? So can you give me an equation that would have the same slope and a different y-intercept? Y equals 5/2 x. Yeah. But I don't know what the any number is, so you have to give me one. Plus 24. Yes. So that is no solution. It is a parallel line with this one. Okay? All right. What about infinitely many solutions? What kind of line would that be? That is going to be an overlapping line or a line on top of the other one. Okay? The same line. So if I have y equals 5 halves x minus 3 halves, to get a line on top of that that maybe doesn't look that same way, what if I just multiplied everything by 2 to get rid of the halves on the bottom? So I would get 2y equals 5x minus 3, because that 2 cancels out with these 2's, and that's what we get. All right, we'll finish this up maybe tomorrow at the very beginning. Tomorrow I will have your names up on the board, and you will be partnered up with some